Hey Vol Nation, I'm Tyler Barbaras. Welcome in. It's been a week full of intensity, and we're here to break down all of the action across Tennessee athletics.
And I'm Jeremiah Shields. That's right. We've got football, women's soccer, volleyball, and more. From the heart of a tough showdown with Georgia to the hustle on the soccer field and the courts in NYC, we've got you covered.
Yeah, Jeremiah, 100%, because the reality is settling in. After all the hype, all the energy, Tennessee went toe-to-toe with Georgia, but they ultimately came up short. A heavy loss that still hangs in the air here in Knoxville.
The disappointment is real. The questions are loud, but the story doesn't end there. Coming up, we'll be talking about all things football, the road ahead, and what this means for the fall season.
Plus, we've got a special feature diving into the checkered history of Neyland Stadium, the iconic moments, legends, and everything that makes Vols football, well, Vols football.
The loss hurts, but the pride, the passion, and the power of Tennessee athletics, that doesn't go away. Let's dive in.
Questions swirled all week about how Joey Aguilar would handle the spotlight. Well, the first drive, he answers fast. Without wasting any time, Aguilar throws a strike across the middle to tight end Miles Kitzelman. 2 plays later, he rips a ball deep out to Chris Brazel. Next, a pass to Staley to get into the red zone. And then the Vols are threatening. Aguilar takes it himself. Touchdown Tennessee. The start that they needed. Vols lead 7-0 early on.
And what does Joey Aguilar do better than anyone else in the country? The deep ball. He unleashes one to Brazel, who climbs the ladder, snatches it over the defender, 72 yards to the house. And even with the flag for pass interference, he wasn't to be denied. The answer to Georgia's score, 14-7, Tennessee.
Midway through the first, Aguilar stays hot. He goes back to Mike Matthews on the motion across the formation, stiff arms the defender, first down. 2 plays later, he escapes what looked like a sure sack and finds Matthews again for a big gain. And who else does he trust inside the red zone? That's right, it's Miles Kitzelman. First down inside the 5-yard line. And then Brazel again, pinking the checkerboard. Vols are up 21-7 early on in this first quarter.
The offense slowed in the second, but special teams, how about this play right here? Long snapper, Bennett Brady, full extension, dive into the ball at the 3. That's how you flip a field.
That is exactly how you flip it, Jeremiah. Special teams is so crucial in big games like this, and Tennessee special teams definitely showed out in this one. In the third quarter, Tennessee is down 27-21, desperate for a spark. And who else delivers the connection of the day? Joey Aguilar, deep strike to Chris Brazel for his 3rd touchdown of the game. 56 yards, a triple threat performance. Vols back in front, 28-27.
Georgia answers with a field goal, taking the lead 30-28. But Tennessee hits right back. Star Thomas explodes through a gap, 27 yards downfield. They go hurry up. Aguilar proceeds to roll out and finds Braylon Staley wide open. Strike for 6. The crowd erupts, 35-30, Volunteers.
You know, Jeremiah, I remember exactly where I was in this moment. The crowd was going absolutely bonkers. The environment in Neyland Stadium was no joke, but it only got better because the defense says enough. Joshua Josephs comes screaming off the edge, strip sack, ball falls on the ground, and Bryson Easton recovers it. Volunteers take over, and they cash in with a 48-yard field goal from Max Gilbert. 38-30, Tennessee in the 4th.
You might have thought that was a dagger, but of course, Georgia does what Georgia does. The Dogs drive, punch it in, and tie it up. 38 all. Into the 4th, the tension is brewing.
It wouldn't be Volunteers if it wasn't a high-scoring game, and the Volunteers are still fighting. Joey Aguilar finds Braylon Staley again on a 3rd down bullet to move the chains. Then Star Thomas pounds the rock, grinding the clock for a huge 3rd and 4 conversion. Deshaun Bishop cuts right, outruns the defender, and picks up another 1st down. The stadium is shaking.
Inside the 50, Aguilar hits Kitzelman for 5, enough to line it up. The game on the foot of Max Gilbert. The kick is away, and it drives wide right. Heartbreak.
Georgia takes advantage in overtime, and the Vols fall 44-41. A game of fireworks, a game of heart, but a game that ultimately slipped away in the end. Like what Katy Perry said, the one that got away.
Aguilar threw punch after punch. Brazil put together a career night. The defense delivered big moments. But when it came down to the final kick, Tennessee did everything but finish. The Vols fought, they swung, they believed. But in Knoxville, heartbreak hangs heavier than celebration. Final score, Georgia survives 44-41.
Well, on the bright side, the number 1 ranked women's Tennessee soccer team traveled to Mississippi over the weekend to take on Mississippi State as the Lady Vols opened up the SEC season. Mississippi State got on the board first with the goal by junior Zoe Main just after the 10-minute mark of the first half. The Lady Vols were held scoreless through the first half despite outshooting the Bulldogs 5-3. The Lady Vols finally scored their first goal in the 52nd minute and tied the match at 1 apiece. Less than 2 minutes later, Anaya Robinson scored her second goal of the match and put the Lady Vols up 2-1. The Lady Vols attempted to hold the lead, but the Bulldogs scored a goal to tie the game in the 73rd minute. Neither offense seemed to be able to score as regulation time came to an end until Allie Perry scored her second goal of the half to give Mississippi State the lead with just over a minute left in regulation. Mississippi closed out the win and handed the Lady Vols their first loss of the season. The Lady Vols will travel to Columbia, Missouri to take on Missouri on Thursday before returning to Knoxville to host LSU in their SEC home opener on Sunday.
Let's get to volleyball, Tyler.
Let's do
the
it.
Lady Vols volleyball team traveled to New York City this past weekend to take on Delaware State and St. John's. The Lady Vols were ready to go from the first set. Jumping out to an instant 5-0 lead, the Lady Vols never looked back from there. The Lady Vols only committed 2 errors in the first set and won 25-19. The Lady Vols were even better in the second set and did not commit a single error in the set. The set was all Tennessee as they won 25-10 and never let Delaware State get any momentum. Tennessee was strong again in the third set, collecting 16 kills to Delaware State 7 and winning the set 25-17, sweeping the match. The Lady Vols carried the momentum into their match against St. John's the next day and played even better than the day before. In the first 2 sets, the Lady Vols committed just 2 errors, totaling wild 15 and 14 kills in the first and second sets, respectively. The Lady Vols won both sets 25-11 and 25-12. In the third set, the Lady Vols committed a few more errors than wanted, totaling 6 in the set. Still, the Lady Vols notched 15 more kills and won the third set 25-16, again sweeping their opponent. The Lady Vols will host Rider University on Thursday in Food City Center as they continue their strong start to the season.
If you've ever stepped inside Neyland Stadium on a checkered Saturday, you know it's more than just a game day look. It's a Tennessee tradition that stands alone in college football. The orange and white pattern is iconic as the power tee itself, and every time the stands light up, it tells a story of pride, passion, and history. To take us behind the legacy of Checkered Neyland and what it means to Vol Nation, here's our Karsten Hoglund with the story.
Several students on campus described the excitement of Checkered Neyland, talking about how it's one of their favorite game day traditions.
The energy there was just unmatched, and it's one of the best traditions, I think, in college football.
I'm super excited. I'm really looking forward to the environment. The environment was great last week, so I can only imagine how it's going to be this week.
Checkered Neyland, a tradition that unites more than 100,000 Tennessee fans, but its origin traces back to one Saturday in September of 2014. Vol fan Spencer Barnett was watching Tennessee play Oklahoma when he saw their fans coordinated by section colors. He wondered, why not try it in orange and white? Barnett posted a Photoshop mock-up on Twitter and it went viral. Soon after, Tim McLeod and Jonathan Brill built a website to tell fans what color to wear. Within 24 hours, it was live. UT Athletics and former head coach Butch Jones quickly endorsed the idea. On October 4th, 2014, when Tennessee hosted Florida, more than 100,000 fans created the first Checkered Neyland. 11 years later, the tradition is still going strong.
And this Saturday, when the Vols take on Georgia, fans will once again checker Neyland Stadium. To find out your color before the big game, visit checkeredneyland.com. I'm Karsten Hoglund, reporting with the Volunteer Channel.
You gotta love Tennessee tradition, man. No matter the score on the field, Checkered Neyland is always a win for Vol Nation. It's a tradition that connects generations and shows the world exactly what Tennessee pride looks like. And with the Georgia game still fresh on everyone's mind, the orange and white checkerboard remains a symbol of hope and heart here on Rocky Top.
And that wraps up this week's look across Tennessee athletics. From the gridiron to the court to the pitch, the Vols are still writing their story.
The loss to Georgia does sting, no doubt about it, but Tennessee sports are built on to fight, and there's plenty of that still to come. Soccer, volleyball, golf, all keeping the orange and white pushing forward.
The road ahead will not be easy, but if there's one thing we know here in Rocky Top, it's that the story is far from over.
Thanks for joining me and Tyler, spending a part of your day with us. We'll be back to bring you every twist, turn, and touchdown. Until then, stay loyal, stay proud, and remember, Rocky Top will always be home sweet home. Go Vols.